Hello everyone, I'm back again playing some more Diablo 2. A little while ago I did a few videos on Diablo 2 saying that I would be rushing to hell, making myself a sorceress. I believe in those videos I only managed to finish the normal difficulty, and then the series kind of just faded away. And since then, of course, Battle.net's policy is to delete any accounts that are older than 90 days that haven't been accessed. So that account is gone, and so is the sorceress that I created. So anyway, I've always kind of felt bad that video series didn't really go anywhere. So I thought I would pick it up here. This video will kind of be a continuation of my previous video series. I still stand by everything that I said in my first two videos, where I kind of reminisce about my experiences with Diablo 2 in the past. It's all still very relevant today, and I'd recommend checking those videos out if you want to get a more deeper insight into my passion for Diablo 2. I'll probably link those videos in the description below, or maybe I'll put a link somewhere in the video itself, right about in the corner up here. So my character and the account associated with it from those last two videos is now permanently deleted and gone, but I did create a new account under the same name, and this time, instead of doing a sorceress build, I'm going to be doing a paladin. More specifically, a Hammerdin. This is a paladin that uses the Blessed Hammer as the main skill. So I'm going to actually be following this guy's guide that he posted on this forum here. It involves putting 20 in Blessed Hammer and 20 in Concentration, and hopefully this will give us the damage that we need in order to kill stuff in the late game. So the skills we need are listed here, the stats we need are listed here. And we're going to have to find a lot of gear for this guy to actually make him shine. But we're basically gearing him out almost like you would a sorceress, with a heavy focus on just boosting up his skill points as high as we can get them. So in theory, this should work very much like a sorceress would. And I think if we do manage to get the Enigma, which is probably a big if, because I think a lot of this stuff is incredibly expensive, but I think we will be able to teleport. Even as a paladin, we can take the skill from the sorceress. So this is kind of the dream build right here, but I'm sure we'll probably have to settle for some of the gear that might be cheaper. But over time, we should be able to either trade or find a lot of this stuff for ourselves. Okay, so back into the game. My account name is the same, Hypnox. You can feel free to add me if you'd like as a friend. And the character I've built, okay, he is level 49, but I basically just made this character yesterday. I didn't want to start a character from scratch for this video, since I feel like I covered most of the basic rushing and grinding in the previous two videos, so I didn't want to have you guys sitting through that whole tedious process. But I got him all the way up to level 49. He's currently in Hell Act 1, which is kind of a problem. I kind of have this guy in a sticky situation. See, in theory, how you're supposed to power level your character is get him up to around level 40 in normal difficulty, and then have him move up to do Baal runs in Nightmare up until he's around level 60. And only then, once your character is around level 60, you can go ahead and complete Nightmare difficulty and move him on to Hell. So I had him rushed through Nightmare all the way up until Baal, and I was going to stop there and just do a few Baal runs to get him up to the appropriate level of 60 before moving on to Hell, but the person rushing us was very insistent on killing Baal at the same time, so I ended up taking him all the way past Nightmare and into Hell. And the problem with that is that now if we go to join any games, all we will ever see here in this list is going to be games created in the Hell difficulty. Now you might be thinking, what could the problem with that be? Well, this means that I can no longer see Nightmare games, which basically means that I can't join any of the XP runs, like Baal runs, Chaos runs, or anything like that. in the Nightmare difficulty. So all I see here are Hell games, and I'm in Act 1 of Hell. So it's not like I can do bail runs, I can't do chaos runs or anything. I'm basically stuck here until I find somebody who can rush me, and even if they do rush me, I can't progress to bail. Basically in Act 5 there's a kind of level check that prevents you from progressing to the final boss of the game. It's a quest that has you defeating these 3 ancients, and in order to complete the ancients quest you have to be at certain levels that I mentioned earlier. 20 for normal, 40 for nightmare, and 60 for hell. So I'm kind of trapped in hell here until I reach level 60. And I'm thinking if I can get rushed into Act 4, I should be able to find some chaos runs. It looks like people are regularly running chaos runs, and that might be my answer to get to level 60. Otherwise, this character is just going to be dead in the water. So I have a few options as far as getting to the chaos runs. I can try to find a game where somebody is being rushed and kind of ride on their coattails. That would involve me sitting here and staring at this list of games for maybe tens of minutes, waiting for something that even looks remotely promising. My other option is maybe I can create my own game and maybe entice somebody to come help me or come to my aid. I remember long ago that it was pretty common for people to offer a rush just for the use of your Forge quest. There's a quest in Act 4 where you can... the reward for completing the quest is basically a random rare rune, and high-level players routinely would offer rushes just for the chance at getting a good rune from you. So I'm thinking we might just create a game offering our Forge quest and see if anybody takes a bite. Of course, if I was more established in Diablo 2 and I had built up a friends list of some sort, I mean, I would probably just ask a buddy to help me through hell, but as basically a new player coming in with a clean slate, I don't really have that option. I could also beg here in chat for anybody to help me out. As you can see, a majority of the players in here are just these bots spamming these websites and advertisements, so that'd be a pretty useless idea. By the way, don't go to any of these websites or anything. They'll probably just install a keylogger on your computer or something and steal your password. There's a lot of people on Diablo, and probably 70% of them are out to screw you over. Okay, so the second part of this video is going to be a little bit strange, because I'm going to have to do this commentary in post-production, since I had to capture all this video over the span of a few different recording sessions. So I did try making a game offering my Forge quest for a Hell Rush, and I made the game and I sat in the game room for about like 10 minutes and didn't get anybody biting on that offer. So I went back to browsing the list of games, and I did happen to find a game that looked maybe a bit promising. It had a level 87 sorceress in it, and a level 7 sorceress that somehow managed to make it all the way to hell without meeting any of the level checks in the previous 2 difficulty levels. So I got in and I noticed the sorceress was wearing a full Tals set, which is it's one of the rarest armor sets in the game. So, you know, trying to be friendly, I commented on that, trying to kind of butter him up a little bit. You know, it's nice to be nice. And I'm sitting there and I'm noticing the sorceress is running through the catacombs, but then I realized in the quest log that the final Act 1 quest is actually not completable in this game, because the host of the game already did it. So I was like, oh shit, I'm still in Act 1. And I made my plea to hopefully allow the person rushing us to make a new game so that I can actually take part in the rush. So I made a new game, and to my surprise, everybody did show up, including the sorceress in Full Tal Rasha's set. And I'm thinking, oh boy, we're all set. We're gonna be making it all the way to, you know, chaos runs within a matter of minutes here. So, you know, I say thanks, I appreciate it. And then this guy says to me, "What are you offering for the rush?" And I'm like, wait, hold on a second. I thought this guy was doing this out of the goodness of his heart. So I was a little bit bummed that this guy, you know, even after making me make this new game and everything, was like, yeah, what are you gonna give me? What's in it for me? I was so close to saying, oh, you can, you know, go ahead and have my Forge quest if you want, since, you know, that's generally the common handoff for this kind of a service. But then I was like, wait a second. There's 1, 2, 3 of us. Why is he specifically asking for me to give up something? You know, these 2 other guys are in it just as much as I am, for all I know. Unless they're all like buddies and they're all on each other's friends list or something and they're just out hustling people for stuff. I don't know. But I ended up just saying, you know, hey, this is my only character. I don't have anything, especially nothing as good as your freaking full Tal Rasha set. Like, what could he possibly want from me? The guy didn't reply or anything, and the rest of the rush was just silent, so I guess he wasn't really expecting much in return to begin with. But it just made me think, man, everybody's out for something. Nobody wants to do anything for free. So the rush went really smoothly. I mean, he was just banging through all of the bosses. Even through Act 2, the amulet, the staff, it was all very, very nice and smooth. We killed Andariel, we killed the bug. The only place we did have a little bit of a hiccup was during the Act 3 High Council quest. He made a town portal for us to kind of hang back where it was safe. I'm aware that some of the High Council have different kinds of immunities to different elemental attacks. So it's not a surprise that this sorceress was having a particularly hard time with the High Council. It took a long time just waiting for this the High Council to die. And the first time that the Rusher killed the High Council, we were actually too far away from the final kill to get the quest, so the quest was automatically marked as incomplete. So I did have to remake the game once again just to have a second shot at that quest. And the second time, you see, the Rusher told us not to move so that we don't aggro the enemies and end up getting ourselves killed. But one of the people in our party was dumb enough to creep up closer to the action. And the High Council summoned a Hydra right underneath the poor guy. He was instantly killed, but it also put the rest of us in danger to where we were taking Hydra bolts to the face while trying to survive. But even though the guy ended up getting himself killed, we all did end up getting the quest. And we were able to move on to Mephisto. And Mephisto went really smoothly as well. However, I've been having this problem a lot lately where whenever I transition between acts and the cinematic cutscenes play, I always get the connection interrupted message, and I'm immediately booted from the game. So I got kicked out from the rest of the entire rush. I missed out on the Diablo portion of the rush, because I was stuck completely locked out of even getting to the login screen for at least like 15 minutes. And by the time I finally was able to log in again, the rushing game was completely done. It was gone. Didn't even exist anymore. So I was able to make it into Act 4, to where I could start doing those Chaos runs, which was really helpful. By the way, Chaos runs now are very, very bizarre. The last time I played Diablo, I hadn't seen anything like this before. It seems like now it's just commonplace to have these bots running 24/7, just continuously doing run after run after run of Chaos and Baal. It's like the player isn't there, they're just kind of running a script that's basically just controlling the player for them. I mean, it was very efficient. The bot knew where the enemies were, it knew where to make town portals for the other players to join. It was able to detect when certain enemies died and when Diablo was defeated and things like that. And it even tossed out like free stuff that it didn't care to hold on to. Of course, by following the bot around like this through the Chaos run, the bot is just automatically grabbing all the best items that ever drop in the blink of an eye. And you're pretty much left with just the garbage that's left over. It didn't used to be like this. These kinds of experience runs used to be very people-oriented, where it was like a group effort to run through and clear each of these instances. I don't think I like it. I think I would have rather been playing in a full room of 8 players that were all people controlling their character, rather than just following this bot around that's just teleporting and spamming Blessed Hammer. I mean, it was kind of nice that I was the only player in the room, which meant that I basically had second dibs on anything that dropped in the room. There were a lot of rares and amulets and some gems and things that the bot didn't really pick up, so I did manage to get a few good items just from following the bot around. So I did the Chaos runs until I was above level 60, but then there became the problem where I had to progress past Diablo in order to actually get the Ancients done and continue on to do the Baal runs. So I started making a bunch of games, you know, asking for people to help with the Diablo quest, and I didn't really have much luck finding a game or creating a game where somebody would help me kill Diablo, and at this time I was just basically stuck in Act 4. I was high enough in level to complete the Ancients and continue on to defeat Baal, but I had this barrier of entry of defeating Diablo himself in order to get into Act 5. Eventually somebody did join my game. It was a level 74 Necromancer. Not really a player who was capable of defeating Diablo, but at least he was nice enough to offer me the waypoint for the area Diablo's in. I thought I'd just run in and give it a go on my own, just see if I actually had the damage and health to handle any of the minions in the Hell area. But of course I died a whole lot during this process of killing Diablo. Thankfully, shortly after the Necromancer joined, a much higher level Paladin popped in and did a really nice job of taking care of Diablo for us. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it was a tough grind just getting into the Chaos Sanctuary. So we finally killed Diablo, and the Paladin was even nice enough to help me out with the first quest in Act 5, as well as we struggled our way into the Ancients as well. I mean, it was a lot of work. I feel like he was maybe doing 80% of the work, but without my 20% in there, I don't think we would have been able to do it. The Ancients were pretty scary because, of course, if both of us were to die, then we would have to do the whole damn thing over again and start from scratch again. I did end up dying once during the Ancients fight, which terrified me because I didn't want to have to do it again. But I managed to jump back into the game fast enough to where we were able to scoop up the fight again and get it done. Although, upon the death of the final Ancient, he did release a frost wave that completely destroyed me, which was a funny little kick in the pants at the last minute there. But I did get the quest, and now I was able to finally go on to do Baal runs. So right after that, I jumped into the first Baal run game I could find. And again, all the Baal runs that I was able to find so far have just been completely hosted and run by bot players. Bots that are just continuously running Baal 24/7 and basically just zip around and do all the work, so you just have to kind of stand there and watch the XP meter go up and up. Again, Diablo did not used to be like this. It used to be very, very player-oriented, where you can feel the camaraderie of the players around you. It used to be a struggle just to get into the throne room to begin with. So sitting there just kind of allocating my skill points and watching the XP meter tick up level after level, I was kind of reminded of like a clicker game, like a cookie clicker, or one of those crappy mobile games. I was like, okay, I'm basically just standing here and watching a meter tick up. I don't feel like I'm contributing, or that I really would make any difference if I did contribute here. Anyway, after Bale's minions are killed, it was like a mad dash to get to Bale, because what you really want to do is get right underneath Bale in order to collect all the loot that he drops. Because you never know, you could always grab the rarest items in the game just by spamming clicks whenever Bale dies. So, since I felt like I couldn't really contribute to the game anyway, I actually set my character up to where he would be fast enough to reach Bale before anybody else, or before Bale dies, just so that I could collect as much loot as I possibly could. So I switched to the Vigor aura that gave me extra movement speed, and I think at one point I even tried using the charge ability to zip over there as quickly as I could. Because the bots are so powerful. I'm sure they're decked out in the best gear possible. They're built specifically for botting, and they take down these bosses extremely quickly. So if you don't have a leg up on the speed to get to Bale, there's a good chance you're going to miss out on a whole lot of items just because you're still walking over there while Bale dies and everybody grabs whatever they can. I did manage to get my hands on a few uniques just by doing Bale runs in this way. So far, nothing that my paladin character can really use for the build that I'm going for. But if I ever want to make another character, like a sorceress or a assassin or whatever, I have some gear set aside just for that purpose now. And if I ever need to trade for anything, then I might have a chance at having an item that somebody else might want for something that I want. So I ended up doing these Bale runs pretty much all night last night, and I think I got to around level 76. I plan to work my way up to around level 80, and then I kind of want to start doing my own kind of magic finding runs where maybe I'll go out and kill a bunch of bosses in nightmare difficulty. Something that I can actually handle with the gear that I have right now. And if I can go out and kill, say, Mephisto a couple dozen times, there's a good chance something might drop that I can make good use of on my paladin character. Also, I've been told that the rune word, Spirit, is actually very good for my paladin. If I can find these runes that are actually very common, I could put together a Spirit sword and a Spirit shield and be much better off in the character build that I'm trying to create here. I actually do have all the runes I need to build one Spirit item, but I just need to find the appropriate item with the correct number of sockets, and that's proven to be a very big challenge for me. It has to be a sword. It can't be like a hammer or mace or whatever. It can't be anything but a sword. And the shield has to be something that's either good enough for late game, but it has to also have pretty low requirements for my paladin, because I'm not planning on giving him much in the strength stat. He's gonna be pretty low on that, so I want to find a shield that's good, but not too good to where he can't even equip it. So I've been trying to do things like normal cow runs, because I've noticed a lot of socketed items drop during cow runs, and maybe someday I'll actually find the socketed item with the right number of sockets. But for now I'm just trying to make my goal to get to level 80, and then I'll kind of worry about that along the way. Anyway guys, I think I'll wrap this video up here. I'm going to continue to build on this character and play a lot more on camera. I'm not a big fan of doing this whole post-production commentary kind of thing. I'd much rather just give my opinions on things as they happen as I'm playing the game. So maybe next time we'll try to do a few cow runs, maybe play some more Bale runs, and I can try to cut together a bunch of footage that's interesting like that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll catch you all later in the next episode.